93% there, almost back in the top numbers. I'm going to keep it going while I'm on a roll. Obviously, don't feel obligated to stick around, Becca and Mark. I know you've been around for a while. But yeah, the big one for me is getting the 50 followers. I've just got to kind of promote it to all my friends and get them to follow me and get that up. And I've actually gotten a decent amount of random subscribers on YouTube. I made both channels at the same time, so I'm hoping there'll be some carryover from there. And then Agonizing Remorse is the card that I added to the deck that's been super impactful. So another Wilderness Reclamation deck. I think, again, this deck is really, really popular right now. And I think I have to take that instead of Nissa. So I don't see any reason to Oath of Kaya them. I think it's better to draw a card. And at this point, we're mostly just looking for Doom Foretold. Also, Elspeth Conquers Death as an answer to Nissa would be okay. The only upside is that when they animate a land, I can take it out 2 turns in a row, but Nissa obviously is really dangerous to leave out there for any period of time. For whatever reason they've chosen to go Uro, they'll probably play around counter magic. But yeah, I definitely need to find some action the next couple of turns or they're gonna pull too far ahead. I'm going to still hold the Oath of Kaya so that we can take out some of the animated lands. Yeah, unfortunately this game is not the most exciting as we haven't really found anything to do yet. So I am going to Oath of Kaya the land because I can't actually get rid of Nissa with the 2 Oath of Kayas. She's going to get up to 7 loyalty, and I can only do 6 damage. Yeah, and we definitely need to draw some non-land cards. Oh, actually, I can take out Nissa here because I can play both of these on this turn. So I'm going to do that instead. That's much better.
My patience.
And this will keep us in it, but again, I definitely need to find a non-land card next turn. So they're still short on bringing Uro back. They're a couple turns away from that, hopefully. I can tell you, they're 36%. I use the untap.gg plugin that tells me. And we found one. Oh, man. Alright, that's a non-land. Yeah, this game is almost certainly not going to end in a way that is good for us, but again, after sideboard, I think that this matchup is very winnable, and it's really skill testing, which is fun for me. I enjoy matches that feel like whoever plays better gets to win, so we'll probably concede if they untap and start doing something here. If they don't, might as well play one more turn. Yeah, that's definitely drawn just an unusually high amount of lands this turn. Alright, and it looks like they actually have Expansion Explosion here. So they can more or less end the game now. Let me just confirm that that's what they're doing with their mana, but I think it is. Yeah, and if they hit us with that, it is all over. We'll be at 2 life, but they'll draw a billion cards, and there's no coming back from that for us. So, just wait for them to cast it. Alright, and that'll do. Okay, so I think we go back to our game plan from last match. Dovin's Veto seems really strong. D-Spark to get rid of Wilderness Reclamation, and the fact that it exiles is also nice because it's a little bit less fodder for Uro to come back. And Mystical Dispute is excellent. The Oath of Kayas are quite bad. And the Wraths are quite bad. So this looks good. And we'll keep one Oath of Kaya again just to hit Teferi if they play one and tick down. So this is also about keeping up counterspells when we can on the important turns, namely the 4 mana turn. Up until 4 mana, we can sort of do what we want. Oh, we've got a couple Doom Foretold. I always get excited when I see that in the opening hand. And Teferi to potentially protect them from counterspells, even better. Our opponent seems to be considering a mulligan, so we're 3 for 3 on good signs to start the game. Alright, let's see. Oh, and Treacherous Blessing. Yeah, this is about as good as we can start. The only thing we're missing is the ability to play Agonizing Remorse early to see what they're up to and disrupt them a little bit. But I think our hand is proactive enough that that should not really matter. One thing that I'm trying to get better at, and I think I've learned a lot about, is sideboarding differently on the play and on the draw. On the play, I try to be as proactive as I possibly can, where on the draw, you need to consider that they might get their thing going first and bring in a few more reactive spells. In this matchup, that doesn't apply a ton, but it does in a lot of other matchups. Alright, so here's the first interesting decision. I would love to play Teferi to protect Doom Foretold from counterspells. That runs into Mystical Dispute really hard. If I play Treacherous Blessing, however, they cannot Mystical Dispute it, and it gives me something to sack to Doom Foretold. I think I'm going to do this, especially since I have another Doom Foretold if the first one does get countered. Them having Omen of the Sea here makes Doom Foretold slightly worse, but it'll still be really good if it resolves. And I think here it makes sense to get rid of the Fabled Path. I'll get rid of the Godless Shrine. Yeah, definitely one of the 2 lands. I think even the 2 life difference could matter if we do get hit with an Expansion Explosion. If the game comes to that point, we're probably in trouble anyway, but might as well save the life if we can. And here I'm going to grab another black source. No, another white source. That way it will be able to keep up Dovin's Veto in a few turns. And if this resolves, I think we're in pretty good shape. So they do have some fodder to sacrifice to Doom Foretold. Our deck is really set up to do that, so we should be able to do it for longer than they can. If they play Wilderness Reclamation and have something else here, that's a little bit annoying, but we can de-spark it with Dovin's Veto backup. But we will need to draw another white source for that, I believe. Yeah. Oh, they didn't play it anyway, so I don't have to figure that all out. Here, I think I like a second Doom Foretold. Although there's something to be said for Omen of the Sea, making sure we hit our land drop and keeping Dovin's Veto up. So I'm actually going to go with that play. That feels better. Yeah, and I definitely like what's going on over there. The fact that they're just spending their mana to scry and allow us to essentially get our Doom Foretold trigger is really, really good for us. And I would like both of these cards. I'm going to draw the land first, though, because I want to make sure we hit our land drops. Teferi here is even better than Dovin's Veto, because that totally turns off Wilderness Reclamation, even if they do draw it.
Sorry, I'm late.
And I'm going to tick up and make it hard for them to get rid of Teferi right now.
Here we go.
Yeah, I think that worked out much better, Mark. So here, Wilderness Reclamation does nothing for them, which is great. We can also get rid of it with Teferi. Play another Doom Foretold. And have Dovin's Veto backup and start attacking. This game is going to be very hard for us to lose from this point. Yeah, Teferi is, I think, just the stone cold nuts against the Temur Reclamation deck. It completely shuts down their game plan, and I don't even really know if they have a plan B. I'm going to keep everything out there, so I think that it's hard to lose if you can keep a Teferi on the board. Just keep attacking. Play another Doom Foretold with another Dovin's Veto as backup. And pass. And this feels a lot like last turn. Surprised they have not yet conceded.
This might be a bad idea.
We have 3 Doom Foretolds, so let's get all of them back. And even keep up Mystical Dispute. Let me go ahead and get an island first. Whenever you can resolve Dance of the Manse, getting multiple Doom Foretold, it feels almost impossible to lose from that position. And I'll pitch the land. Yeah, there's nothing they can do to come back from this point. I'm not sure what they are holding up for if they have like a stop. Okay, so that went really well. I still think this is the best configuration. I don't see anything else I really want to bring in, so I'm going to run it back. Mark, I've got to get you to try this deck. I think that you are also going to have a ton of fun playing it. Yeah, for sure. I just don't know what they could draw at that point even to have it. Maybe they had a third Storm's Wrath and they could have potentially cleared the board. But yeah, nothing wrong with making your opponent have it. I think it's actually a good practice to be in. I think they are about to implement, or maybe even already started doing it, friend deck sharing. So I don't know if that's literally lending the cards or quite how that works, but if that is the case, I'm happy to either send you the wild cards or the deck. Alright, and this does a whole lot of nothing, but I love it because I love drawing cards, and hopefully we can draw into something, so I am keeping this one. Having the D-Spark as Wilderness Reclamation insurance is definitely nice. And as I mentioned, Teferi seems like the best possible card against them, so happy to keep that on top. Yeah, I agree. So here, I'm going to Omen on the end of their turn, unless they do something that requires me to... I guess they could potentially Grow Spiral and then Wilderness Wreck, but they did not Grow Spiral, so that is no longer an option. And if they want to spend a counterspell on that, I am more than okay with it. Ooh. Don't need Dance yet, but I do like Agonizing Remorse. So this seems like the key turn of the game. I would like to Agonizing Remorse, but I don't have anything to back it up with, and there is a chance they have Mystical Dispute and then can play Wilderness Reclamation next turn. Wilderness Reclamation on 4 when I have 2 D-Sparks is not the end of the world. It's also possible I just want to play Teferi and tick up, and if they counter it, we can Agonizing Remorse and Omen of the Sea on the next turn. I'm going to try to land Teferi, I think. So they had the counter, they were going to counter whatever we played there. And this allows me to go 2 spells on the next turn. Okay. Happy to shock here. It's Agonizing. Whoa, definitely don't want to tap that way. Always good to check the auto tapper. Let's try to Agonizing Remorse first. Okay. And end of their turn, we're going to Omen of the Sea. Still have double D-Spark in hand for Wilderness Reclamation. Can't actually cast it right now, but it doesn't seem like they have it because they immediately passed last turn. They are considering something, though. Alright, and I'm looking for Doom Foretold, lands, more card draw is always welcome. I think this works. Okay, so I am going to shock again. I can Treacherous Blessing, leaving up both D-Spark and Omen of the Sea. That seems quite strong. Seems like they may be on all counters this game, and us being on the draw actually sort of works to our advantage that way, because we'll have one more card than they will when all is said and done. I'll allow that. Well, not that I have any choice. Yeah, it is a little bit surprising. But like I said, I think they're on a bunch of counters for sure. And the last turn they paused for a while, so maybe they do have the wreck and they're going to try to play it this turn. I'm not sure. Play another Omen of the Sea though. Again, the only thing we really have going for us is we will have more cards than they do, so if we trade 1 for 1, that should work out okay. Don't really want either of those though. Hey, how's it going? I'm streaming in here. Dana just got back. Okay, so here, I think we try to do the same play last turn. It's possible. I don't think they'll counter a golden egg, so I think this works. I'm gonna try not to shout into the mic. Mark says hi. Yeah, of course. Alright, so they choose to draw 2 cards there, trying to hit wreck, and luckily we hit Dovin's Veto, which is awesome here. I am going to play this one tapped, because there's no reason that we would need it untapped. And I really like the fact that we got our Dovin's Veto there. That helps protect us a lot. And when they drew 2 cards, we drew 3, so we're increasing our card advantage. Alright, they do have Shifting Ceratops, but unfortunately for them, we have multiple D-Sparks, as well as Elspeth Conquers Death. That's the nice thing also about playing Esper, is that you have answers to some of the hate cards like Shifting Ceratops that more traditional like Azorius control decks have a harder time answering. Wow, Teferi is excellent here, and the fact that we have Elspeth Conquers Death to potentially buy it back is great. And we have Dovin's Veto to really make sure it sticks if we do get countered. Yeah, that's really solid, and they did not even attempt to counter it. I think they have Mystical Dispute actually, because they've been hesitating, and we have 3 mana open. So I'm pretty sure that's what they've got going on over there. I am going to minus on an Omen. This will give us something to do at the end of turn if they do nothing. And we do hit Doom Foretold as well. We are now really turning the corner. We're in a very strong spot here. So they can try to take out our Teferi. I'll probably Dovin's Veto, whatever they do, to try that, since Teferi does shut down Reclamation anyway. And then we have D-Spark and Elspeth Conquers Death as like a worst case scenario. It's also possible I let them take out the Teferi just knowing that Elspeth Conquers Death is good. So here, I think they do have Mystical Disputa. Luckily, Dovin's Veto gets around that nicely. And now we can tick up Teferi, play our Doom Foretold. Oh, and Mystical Dispute doesn't work when Teferi is out there anyway, so I totally overlooked that. But we're gonna, on their draw, Agonizing Remorse, I think, just to pick apart whatever's left in their hand. Yeah, the passive effects are crazy and super easy to forget about, even when you play the card all the time. So I'm gonna let them draw, and we're gonna Agonizing Remorse. They can't respond to it because of Teferi. So even if they have Expansion Explosion, doesn't really matter. This is a terrible templating issue with this card. I've actually lost a match because of this. Sometimes it will highlight their graveyard first. I think if there's more cards in it, always make sure you're looking at their hand. We're going to take the Omen of the Sea. I do not know why Arena thought that would be a good idea to default to the graveyard only sometimes, but it is miserable, and I lost to a Gruul aggro deck because I pick something from their graveyard, and then they smash me with a Questing Beast the next turn. Alright, we'll keep ticking up. Alright, and that's enough. They've seen it. And we are really on a roll, cruising through the Mythic Ladder. Yeah, the passive effects are hard to keep track of, especially if it's a Planeswalker that you don't play all the time. I've seen a ton of really silly things when you have Narset out there.